Is not your ABC, NBC, or CBS. This is CAN TV, Channel 21. And I'm your host, Silver Black Butterfly Carter, welcoming you to the Black Star Still Rising. It's sponsored by the Black Star Project in memory of Philip Jackson. Glad to have you folks here today, and I got some shout-outs at the beginning.
Okay.
Because I'm always afraid of forgetting them.
Let's get it in.
I'll get you introduced to, but I get the shout-outs in, and then I get to my illustrious guest, and it's throwing me off because I'm not seeing myself today. We're gonna be winging a lot today. This is gonna be an interesting day. But anyway, I wanted to give a shout-out to Darius Hillman, the executive director of CAN TV, who makes these things possible for many of the community programs and projects throughout the community, and allows us to share our information from the community to the community. And that's why we have such a marvelous guest. I'm gonna try to keep this suspenseful for a moment, right? I'm glad you got a good smile. I'm sweating bullets. But anyway, I want to thank also our associate producers. That's Dr. Mike Washington and Brother Ellis Taylor for making all this possible, along with Imani Payne. Imani, wave your hands at the folks, okay? And also Rocio Lee. This is just one of those days. Rocio Rosario. Very good. Thank you for being with us today. My illustrious guest, I'm so happy to have her, is Brandi Knazze. She is the COO of the Watchtower.
The Chicago Lighthouse.
This is going to be an interesting program, given so many differences that we have today, and not being able to see myself, but I'm going to have to get used to that real quick. You going to help me through that?
We got it.
Okay, she has so many distinguishing things. First of all, she's a member of the Chicago community. Born and raised in Chatham, Whitney Young, what other high school? You too, Whitney Young and...
Well, I graduated from Whitney Young from high school,
Okay.
and then I attended Burnside Scholastic Academy
okay.
for elementary school. So Southsider.
Southside, okay. And one of her most illustrious gifts or talents or things about her, she's a member Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Sorority
Incorporated.
That's
What
right.
chapter were you made at?
I was made at New Alpha in Atlanta, Georgia, at Emory University.
That's a very famous research university. There's a lot of research. I know people who have donated their papers and stuff to Emory. So,
Absolutely.
And that was a great time, I'm sure, down in Atlanta.
I love Emory. I love it.
Did they have the underground there when
They did.
It was still there?
It was there.
Well, yes, sir. The apartheid down there. For real, we did. But anyway, there's so many things that you don't know about the Lighthouse that I was surprised about and didn't know the services, because at one point it was Lighthouse for the Blind.
That's right.
But that's been an evolution.
That's right.
Tell me what it should be now. Is Lighthouse what?
So we are the Chicago Lighthouse.
Okay, the
we
Chicago
are
Lighthouse.
celebrating our 120th
120.
Yes, we have been around since 1906. I'll tell you a little bit about the Lighthouse.
Please.
We were
They're
started
going to be interested.
by a group of prominent women who pulled their clothing allowance of all things.
Their
and
clothing
Their
allowance?
clothing allowance.
When their husbands only allowed them a little bit?
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
And so they use their clothing allowance to buy supplies for Chicago's blind, like food
Okay.
and clothing necessities.
Were
And so,
any of them impaired vision or what?
not that I know of. They just were women looking to do
Okay. Mm-hmm.
good in the community. And our first executive director was Edith Swift. And so we like to call ourselves the original Swifties.
Swifties,
That's
okay.
right.
Was Helen Kellner was she part of the inspiration
She
for the
actually
Lighthouse?
dedicated our building, and she came and did the dedication. And so we have a wing in the building where we have homage to her and what she's done for us.
That is beautiful. I was just kidding about it, but I didn't see her when I walked through the place. But I always thought of Helen Kellner
Yes.
and her touching somebody in the movie?
Yes.
All right. Is that factual, or do they talk about that?
We don't talk about that. I can't speak to that, but
Okay.
yeah.
But it's from the movie anyway.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Brandi, tell us some of the things that the average person don't know about Lighthouse, Chicago Lighthouse.
So we are located at 1850 West.
Hold on one second. Get your pencil and paper. I told you, get your pencils and papers out so you can take notes. We're going to tell you one more time, but be prepared. Get ready to write this down.
We are
Brandi.
located at 1850 West Roosevelt Road.
1850.
Right.
50.
Right here in Chicago.
Right at Wood and...
Wood and Roosevelt Road. Right.
It can't be easy any easier to
It's
get there.
very easy to get there. We serve about 50,000 people on an annual basis.
Wait a minute. 50000.
Absolutely.
That's what a CEO gets deep into.
We serve 50,000 people,
All
and we
right.
have 40 programs that support community. So one of our programs, we have different pillars. So the first one is around education and youth. So we support
Education and youth.
Yep.
Because the times I've been there, I've seen buses drop them off and more picking them up when I'm there.
But we have a school. So
Okay.
we support students from 0 to 22. So we
Okay.
have a
Zero?
0 to 22.
Oh, that's okay. I'm trying to picture a zero student.
So think
Okay.
about a baby. Think
Okay.
about a newborn, right? Think about a young child, an infant or toddler who has blindness or vision impairment. We actually have teachers that will go to their house and help our students prepare, you know, because we're used to living in a sighted world.
Yes.
And our teachers help our students adjust and our babies adjust to what that life is like. We also have a therapeutic day school. So we have
Therapeutic day school. That means what?
that we have students who are anywhere from 6 to 22 years old,
Okay.
who are
6 years old, 6 months old.
6 years old,
Okay.
who are developmentally or physically challenged. A lot of our students are medically fragile.
Okay.
They need a one-on-one nurse.
Okay.
And so we provide a host of wraparound services so that they have the school experience just like any other school.
Now that's an
Except
interesting concept you said. Fragile.
fragile, medically
Talk
fragile.
about that. Talk about that a little bit. Explain a
Again,
little bit
so
what it means.
it could be a student who maybe has a feeding tube, is on oxygen,
Okay.
maybe they need medication, we need to watch them during the day. They cannot necessarily make it in a traditional classroom because of the additional support. So we make sure that our students have as close to normal of an education that they can, and they have teachers and they have learning and curriculum. We really want to make sure that we help students thrive.
That must be something, and is that part of the creative things that you've done? Because you've had some very interesting experiences with the city of Chicago. You were director of what was it?
So commissioner for
Commissioner.
for the Department of Family and Support Services.
Wow, that must have been a lot of responsibility too.
But I'm happy where I am now.
I'll bet you are.
I'm happy
Right,
where I am.
right.
I think the Lighthouse is a great place. You know, the other thing that we do, we started in 1906 with employment. That's the cornerstone of the work that we do. A lot of people realize that just because a person is blind or visually impaired doesn't mean they can't work. So we put people to work, not only in our
You
call
find spots for them that fits their skills, talents,
Absolutely,
abilities.
absolutely. And that's really important because when a person can earn, that allows them to then take care of themselves, live independently, and it gives people a sense of pride. And so we're really
Talk
proud.
about that some more, because that's very interesting. That principle of making them self-sustained, so work, enjoy life in some ways, and finding the tools, I imagine, that you have for them to be more engaged with life, period.
I think that's the cornerstone of the work that we do at the
Okay.
Lighthouse. The goal is to help support people to live independently, right? We know that people do better when they live in their own community, when they live in their own home. And so a lot of the work we do is around job coaching, right? Resume writing, resume building. We do mock job interviews. We also do internships where we will subsidize someone to go into a work program for 90 days so that they can try it out, the employer can try it out. Some of our employers have been Bally's.
Have been what? Balance?
Yes, the casino.
Okay.
Blue Cross Blue Shield,
Okay.
Social Security Administration. You know, the Chicago Cubs has been one of our job
No,
placements.
White Sox.
We hope to get there.
You're
I'm
the
a
White
White
Sox.
Sox fan.
You too?
I'm
All
a
right.
White Sox fan,
Yeah.
but the Cubs have been good to us. So
Okay, you got
you gotta
go
make-
along with that.
That's
I go
right.
along with that. Yeah.
But I think that's just really important of helping people get jobs, live independently, and earn on their own.
Okay. I know we've got a few things that we want to cover. Have you got some interesting stories that you can share about the things that you've seen that have happened, and you've seen either people grow or some good examples, the heroes who have visually impaired or whatever?
You know, I will tell you, I come into the Lighthouse every day, and I'm always surprised by what I see, right? The Chicago Lighthouse is a safe space where people who are blind or visually impaired can come, and they have community. We support people who have, disabilities, and also veterans. And so you never know what you're going to get at the Lighthouse. No day is the same, but I think what I'm most proud of is that people have found their community, the individuals we help. There's a story about a mom who was looking to find vision care for her daughter, and she had been turned down from several eye care centers, and she came to the Lighthouse, and the doctors, our doctors are well trained, right? They specialize.
Oh, you have doctors at the facility?
In our clinic,
okay.
Because we have a clinic. And so our doctors actually specialize to maximize the slightest amount of vision that a person has. And the mom, her baby hadn't been able to see, and they slipped those glasses on that baby, and the baby smiled at the mom. And I think that's what it's about, right?
I saw something very similar to that. I don't know if it was related to Lighthouse, but you saw the baby turn and looked at his mother, and he started smiling. He couldn't have been more than 6 months old,
That's
I
right.
think it was.
That's
That was such a
what we do.
heartfelt thing, right?
That's what we
Have
do.
you witnessed some of those things?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's what's really important. I'll tell you that our doctors train across the country, and they really work hard to specialize in low vision. And so people think that when someone is blind that they have no light perception, but there's really a spectrum.
Okay. So we talk about blind is at the end, at one end. At the other end, it's low vision.
There's low vision, and
and
so
just some places
and
in
then
between.
there's places in between.
Okay.
And so I think most people think if you are blind, you have no light perception, you don't see anything. But
Light perception means what?
you
can
see some light. You may see a shadow.
Okay.
You may be able to distinguish, night from day. And so what we work to do is make sure that someone necessarily who may be legally blind, who maybe they have a visual occlusion, right? So maybe their peripheral vision is limited, or
What's
maybe
that legally blind mean? I'm trying to get the definition of what that means.
right. So legally
Okay.
blind is when an individual they can't necessarily see without assistance, and so maybe they can't drive because they're legally blind, but they do have some light perception. And so we work to make sure that they're able to maximize even the smallest amount of vision. So maybe it's corrective lenses, maybe it's the tools that we have, because we have a store actually.
I've been in the store. I've been there. I think with one of my frat brothers who's visually impaired, and he got these glasses. Tell our let me stop you for 1 second. Get your pencil and paper out. I want you to make sure you get the phone number or email address or whatever.
I'll give you our website.
Oh, do that.
Chicago Lighthouse.
You're writing that down?
.org. So
.org.
you can
That's
find us
easy.
chicagolighthouse.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I was sharing with our audience here today that one of my frat brothers, I bring him to the Lighthouse, and he's gotten these glasses. Talk about that and describe the glasses, because it excited me.
Right.
What he did.
I think
what he was
one
able
of
to
the
use.
things that's really important is the use of technology and how far we've come in vision. And so we have a store, and it's called the My Tools for Living. And so it's a website that you can
Okay.
go to, mytoolsforliving.org, or individuals can come in. And so one of the things we have in the store are meta glasses, and meta glasses are what we call a game changer.
Okay.
And so the glasses actually have a camera on the side, and you can use them. They can read street signs.
It's not intrusive, too. I've seen that.
Nope,
You can
they're-
hardly think there's just some hip glasses.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they can read street signs. They can actually tell a person what's in front of them. They can help give directions. And so meta glasses help an individual who has low vision or is blind navigate the world a little bit better so that they know what's in front. We recently finished a summer program, and it was a photography, and the students student that we had using meta glasses is blind, but he used the meta glasses to take pictures because he would use his glasses to ask what was in front of him.
What's in front of me? I've seen the teachers do that.
Absolutely, yeah. And he would know what's in front, and that's how he would snap his picture.
I think this is exciting because the particular person, he's an accountant, reads a lot of documents, a lot of mail, and I could see as they also you also train the people in the use of the doc, 2 or 3 training sessions when they get the documents, and that opened up another world for him to make him still self-sustaining and maintaining his business.
And I think that's what's important. That goes back to the independence, right? That goes back to making sure people feel confident, right? Just because someone has low vision or they've lost their vision doesn't mean life is over. And what we really try to promote at the Lighthouse is how can people keep continually to do the things that they love. And so we have these tools, through the store that we have for My Tools for Living, so they can get magnifiers that will blow things up. We even have playing cards. So imagine if you like to play games, no problem.
Can there's something for Bidwis?
We have cards. We literally do. And so we just have them at a larger scale.
Okay.
They're brailled. We have bump dots. I will tell you bump dots. And so let's say
those are things that, okay, go ahead.
So microwaves, for example, or keyboards, or even your Keurig. If there's a button that you press all the time, but then your vision has declined, you're like, well, where's that button? We have a round dot. It can be orange, it can be clear, that you can put on either the key that you stroke a lot or the button on your microwave so that that's the 30-second button. And that allows you to continue heating up your food, heating up your coffee. And so I think they're tools that are just helpful. The other thing we have that I like in our store is we have a high contrast cutting board. So most of us use a clear cutting board or a white cutting board, right? But if you're cutting onions on a clear or white cutting board, you can't see it. Right?
Okay.
But if you use a black cutting board and you have a white onion, now you can see the contrast. And so that is another way that we buy, we sell tools in the store that help people do the things that make them happy.
Does Lighthouse also do research? Since you have these many different people, different symptoms, etc., coming in, do you research that? Does that ongoing thing?
Yeah, so we actually have a team dedicated to research where they are looking at ways to improve sight and stimulate actual brain waves to really help. And this is far in the future, but really stimulating the brain waves to see, can people actually get that movement and that perception back again. And so we have a great researcher. Our chief research officer is Dr. Patricia Grant.
Okay. I know you got a bunch of things. I want you folks to still take notes, because talk about the caregivers. Talk about what's available to caregivers, because we've had programs where one of our guests talked about the what's the term? When you lose track of your memory, etc. All right, I know about that now. All right, and he had to go through that with his mother, who had dementia. Dementia was the term I'm looking for, and what it meant for him, going from a mother that was very much involved with life, and then almost a son that fell off the table.
Gotcha.
And had to go and take on these responsibilities. Talk about that and what's available there, please.
So maybe I'll start backwards,
okay,
right?
Go, please.
So I think there's a couple of things that we should talk about. Is that first, there's about 7 million people that are living with, eye diseases that have low vision, right?
About 7 million.
About 7 million.
Okay.
And then there's another million people who are blind when we think about, what is this population? Additionally, there are about 93 million people who have conditions that could lead to significant eye loss, like vision loss, right? And of those 93 million people, half of them have not been to the doctor, in the last year. Wow. So that's a lot of people that, need support. So our first thing is making sure people get the care that they need. I think that's really important. The second thing to note is that of the people who lose their vision to diabetes, I think it's important to note that 90% is preventable. And so when you think about caregiving, I think the first thing is prevention and eye health.
Talk about that prevention. What can the average person do?
I think it's important to see your optometrist, right? I think getting your eye exam every year, if you start to feel that your eyes are straining, or you start to say, I've got extra glare, it's important to not just go buy that pair of readers at the
Walgreens.
Absolutely, but come see a doctor and get diagnosed, because early diagnosis,
Early detection.
absolutely,
Early detection
that can
makes a
actually that can prevent eye loss down, because your vision is something that you can't get back, right? Once it's gone, we can use technology and tools to preserve, and help you do the things you're doing, but you can't get your vision back. So early detection, prevention, and getting an eye exam is important. And so that's the first thing I'd say.
So that's with the optometrist?
Yeah, that's the first thing, as what I would say. I think the second thing for caregivers is we have a Stronger Together program that supports
Stronger Together.
Mental
Write
health.
this down. You want to take notes on this. Go ahead. Stronger Together.
Stronger Together. So that's also run by our research team. And so we actually have counselors within our office that can support someone who's going through that as a caregiver or as an actual patient. But the second thing that's easy is our programs, right? If people take advantage of our programs, we have programs for seniors.
You had, if I looked at the list, it's about 40-something
40 programs.
Yes, right. And which are the most exciting ones?
I think they're all exciting.
Okay.
And my teams, I can't pick one. They're like my kids, right?
Okay, all right.
But I would say, we have an instructional material center that supports kids K through 12 throughout the state. We provide 4,500 kids across the state.
Across the state?
With reading
they
materials.
Come into Chicago, wherever
we mail them out.
Okay.
We make sure that kids can learn no matter where they are, and they can keep up with the sighted kids in their classrooms. We have an adult living skills program. So adults who have developmental delays, we support them. We go on field trips. We do active learning. We make sure that they can keep up and live in community.
You got a story to tell about taking kids swimming. Talk about the swimming, if you can.
Well, we recently, again, for our school,
yes.
right, our therapeutic day school, we recently took our 20-some kids to Fosco Park, which is right on Racine, right off of Roosevelt Road.
Okay.
And we took them swimming because they have an adaptive pool, and it was just a joy to see our young people be in the water, right? And
now you say adapted. Did they adapt it because the lighthouse was down the street? Or?
No, it's just a shallow pool that you walk in instead of step in.
Okay.
And so, I will tell you, we try to make sure that no matter where a person is, that we provide experiences that are lifelong. We just finished our youth summer programming, Summer in the City. Okay. We took kids who are blind and visually impaired. They went horseback riding. They went and got a tour of the Cubs. Don't be mad.
I won't.
They did pottery.
Okay.
We did Indian dance. Our goal is to give kids experiences that they would have never been able to do on their own.
You never thought, coming out of undergrad and grad school, that you'd be doing something like this?
I did not.
Right.
I did not. But it's really a pleasure, and it's humbling. And, we have someone in the office, Tim Paul, and he did a documentary last year, and so I'm Only Blind. He's jumping out of planes.
That was the title, I'm Only Blind.
I'm Only Blind. He jumped out of planes. He ran marathons. And so if, individuals who are blind and have low vision can do great things, it's inspiring.
You reminded me when I ran the Chicago Marathon, about halfway through the course, which passed through Chinatown, and this guy was running next to somebody with a kind of a tether, and he was running.
Yep.
And he was passing me. I said, "Oh,
you gotta
I gotta get my game again.
You gotta do better."
Right. I had to do a lot better.
You gotta.
But he was determined to do it. Those kinds of things, yes.
That's probably Tim Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
It was probably him.
Okay, very good. We haven't gone through all 43, but I know you got some other programs that you want to share. And you caregivers, please take notes so that you can take advantage of the services that are available to you that will make your life easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So some more.
So one of the things that we have that I'm really proud of at the Lighthouse is in October 2024, we opened up our residential facility. So we have an apartment building.
Where's it at?
It's right on the corner of Ashland and Wood, 76 units. And it was developed, our architect was LBBA Labs, and it was designed for people who are blind and visually impaired.
How many units again?
76 units.
Okay.
And so what you'll see in the building, first of all, the wallpaper is Braille, and it says love, peace, and joy.
Are those artistic kinds of things or very functional things by the doors and things
Well,
like that?
I'll tell you about the doors.
Okay.
So the doors are hand waved, so you can just wave your hand and they'll open. We actually have high contrast flooring so that when you're moving through spaces of where the walkways are. As you get closer to the unit, you'll see a darker path. We made sure that the doorbells were illuminated. Inside the apartments, they're all outfitted with Alexa, so people can use voice commands. We have wide doorways for bathrooms in case people are in wheelchairs. And even the knobs on the stove, instead of being behind where you have to reach over a flame, it's in front because, again, if you're blind, you don't want to reach over an open flame and burn yourself.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
And so we're really proud of that building. That's something.
So you have to train them for these different things. I've seen some of the tools that they have, like the dots and things and the cutting board. So that was fascinating too. So you always have to be in a creative mode, don't you?
We really do.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that people should know about that we do is we give scholarships to graduating seniors all the way through their graduate programs. We just gave around
When you say seniors, high school, college?
high school, anyone preparing for a trade school, college, a graduate degree. We give scholarships every year, and really proud about that because the cost of tuition can be really expensive, and then when you add on the assistive devices that a young person needs to remain in school, that can become expensive. And I'll say, we do have adult learners, so anyone who's going to school, because we encourage lifelong learning at the Lighthouse. So that application usually comes out in January, and so that's just another, the Ladder Scholarship is something that people should take advantage of.
Well, time went fast, but give us a quick numbers to call to volunteer for some of the things. And let me just ask one question. I don't see CNI dogs. Are they something that's of the past?
We have guide dogs. You will see white canes at the Lighthouse, so individuals may travel with their white cane. We have a number of people that bring their guide dogs to the office, and so you may just not have seen them when you've come over to visit.
I've seen the folks with the canes and the thing on the end.
The Chicago Lighthouse, you asked how they can find us?
Yes.
They can find us on the internet at chicagolighthouse.org.
Got that. Brandi, I'm so happy that you were able to make time for us. And I want you to come back and bring one of your, that's not clients? How do you refer to them?
One of my colleagues.
Your colleagues?
Yeah.
Okay. They're in the mix with you.
That's right.
You are going to come back?
I will definitely come back.
You can hold me to it, right? Tell Aaron, hold me to this, all right? And we'll figure out the next time that you can bring somebody with you. Thank you so much for being with. I know folks are going to enjoy this, and they're going to be calling in or finding you on the internet.
That's right. Or stop by. Just come over.
Right at the corner, Roosevelt and Wood.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you for being with us today.